Hello, folks. I was just reading New York Mag, which is almost as torturous to read as the New York Times, but check out this article. It's called What to Do When They Don't Want You to Exist. There is a group of people in America, it is predominantly composed of white people, that wants Latino immigrants kicked out of the country. They attempt to create fear surrounding Muslims. They don't want women to have reproductive rights. They don't treat transgender citizens like humans. They throw around anti-Semitism with ease, and they don't have a problem when police kill black people. Now, this opening paragraph made it past an editor, and everyone went, yep, I think you've done your due diligence. That's ready to rock. And it's something I'd like to call the Borg of bigotry, where this straw man, this evil straw man, who, by the way, perfectly personifies everything bad about the world to you. Everything you don't like is in one big thing. If it rains on your birthday, it's this evil Borg, and we need to stop it. So the problem with this mentality is you end up just shooting people. You see, the police are racist. All police, coast to coast. They're part of this giant Borg. They don't want reproductive rights. They want you to be scared of Muslims, and they shoot black people. So all you have to do is go up and just shoot any cop, and you've taken a chip out of the Borg. It reminds me of the bad guys in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, where they're just clones. Just shoot them. Yeah, that hurts the main brain guy, Kerrang, or whatever his name is. Like in alien movies where they figure out how to get to the source of the bad thing, and then all the robots just collapse and they drop their guns. It doesn't work like that in the real world. The real world is not Independence Day or Ninja Turtles. In the real world, people are human beings. And obviously, Black Lives Matter. That's why it's illegal to kill them. And when we hear about a black person being killed, we freak the fuck out. When Abner Louima, when it was rumored that there was a broom pole stuffed up his ass, we went, holy crap. Sane, rational people went, I can't wait to see what happens in court, because if that officer did what I think he did, the shit is going to hit the fan. And we did wait, and it did hit the fan. That guy is still in jail. Everything bad you heard about Abner Louima was true. Similarly, Amadou Diallo, we heard, oh my God, he was shot by cops 40 times. They shot him in the bottom of his feet. Let's wait to see what happened. Let's wait a couple days. We don't want a kangaroo court to figure this out. We're not going to run and start murdering people because of a Facebook meme. And then we find out they said, show us your ID. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? And then eventually he pulls out his black wallet like that and he gets shot. He got shot a lot, but they all happened in a matter of seconds. So Amadou and Abner, totally different cases. Now, when we have this Alton Sterling and Philando Castile shootings going on, we go, all right, what happened? We find out soon enough that one was a Blood, one was a Crip. When you're reaching down for your gun, we don't know what you're reaching for. You can shoot from your pocket. Yes, they both got shot. We're learning now that Alton Sterling may have been going for the taser, may have been going for their guns. Yes, they were unarmed, but we don't know what the word unarmed means. I talked to crime stat guys, and no, the jury is still out on the term unarmed. Unarmed can mean a car drove at you and tried to kill you, and you shot the person. Unarmed can mean you reached for an officer's gun, or in this case of Alton Sterling, possibly his taser. That's unarmed. You can shoot at a cop, run away, throw your gun away. Now you're unarmed. So you go, well, how many black kids are getting shot every year? How many cases are like? And there's so few cases where you can focus. Like Eric Garner seems like one of the most egregious ones recently. I wish it was the old days of the beat cops, where they would just go, hey, and they know everyone's name, and occasionally get into a fist fight with these kids who are pushing too far. That bring back fighting, please. And I get the feeling Snoop Dogg and The Game were sort of saying that when they went down and had a meeting and said, we want to introduce ourselves to the cops, and we want the cops to introduce themselves to us. I think it was a smart way of saying, let's get back to beat cops. But anyway, with Eric Garner, we didn't have that, and we had a guy who was choked out and eventually died. He didn't die. He was not murdered by cops, but the confrontation that he helped instigate led to his death. The other ones, though, we hear about Trayvon Martin, where he was fighting the cops. We have Mike Brown. No, he didn't have his hands up. It sounds like he was lunging at an officer, which is suicide. In fact, they call it death by cop. And because we have all this fake narrative about these victims, but let's just sort of err on the side of caution and say, okay, The media is dying for these cases. It's great business for them to find innocent blacks killed by cops. They don't like the fact that Tamir Rice held up a BB gun and aimed it at a cop after being told to put it down. They like that he was just playing la 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 with a balloon, and then the cops shot him from their car, and as Jesse Williams said, went home to make a sandwich. So there's a massive demand there for victims, right? And they can still only come up with, say, 6. Let's say it is 6. Let's say 6 unarmed innocent men were stopped by cops. Now, cops stop something like 420 million people, 420 million times a year. Cops have a confrontation with citizens. 6? That's pretty good. The number of Americans that die of spider bites is about 6. Now, cops getting killed, I know it's a terrible time to say it, but it's also relatively low. I'm sorry, but it's up there with mass shootings. It ranges from about 20 to a bad year is 51, and we've had probably the worst week we'll ever have. But the problem with this juvenile mentality of there's innocent black kids playing and then the Borg of bigotry is out assassinating them is you end up just assassinating random guys like Wen Jianliu and Rafael Ramos. A Hispanic and an Asian guy, NYPD officers, are sitting in their car, and they were killed by 2 things. They were killed by the asshole Muslim radical black nut that shot them, but they were also killed by this rhetoric. Any of you who were promoting this pigs in a blanket, fry 'em like bacon bullshit narrative are partly responsible for that death. You all have blood on your hands. And that's the same with Mika Johnson. And what shocks me about Mika Johnson wanting just assassinate random cops is he was assassinating human beings who have lives, but the narrative structured it such that he was killing clones that were part of the Borg. And once you start killing them, it's good. The Borg starts going, oh no, our men are dying. I better stop being so racist. Is it science fiction movies? Is that the problem here? But I'd just like to take a moment to talk about the 5 human beings who were killed. Like Lorne Ahrens, okay, big, huge football player guy, 14-year vet, very religious man, dead. Now, I heard rumors that some huge cop was standing in front of a protester protecting him when he was shot. I still have to verify that, but it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. That's what happened at the Dallas shooting, right? They were screaming about this horrible police state, and the second the shots ran out, they ran behind cops. There's also Michael Kroll, a guy he worked in jails for a long time and decided he wanted to step up his game and be a real cop, no offense, corrections officers, and make a difference in the world, assassinated. Michael Smith, he was an Army Ranger for a while, a father of 2. Those 2 children no longer have a father. Brent Thompson, another newlywed, just settled down, starting a new life, pretty late in life, ready to begin again, dead. And then, of course, Patrick Zamarripa. Now, this guy was a war vet. He did three tours in Iraq. Hispanic guy, by the way. I assume your Borg mentality means you have to shoot cops, although I have heard nut bars say, no, this transcends race. The enemy, we can shoot Asian cops and still be fighting the evil white Borg. This guy was married with a 2-year-old daughter, and he's dead now. Why is he dead? Well, Obama would like to call it powerful weapons. Jesse Jackson would like to call it Trump. We also hear about how we have to untangle all the details. I'll tell you why he was killed. Because there's people that hate us, and there is rhetoricians out there spreading propaganda. And that propaganda is infantile, juvenile. It's a science fiction movie. It's untrue, and it's getting people killed. So why don't you grow up? Because your infantilization is killing us. Did you like that? Okay, check it out. I got a whole comedy show called How's It Going, Eh? You just have to click right here to subscribe.